fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. I'm focusing on what counts. Talk to your doctor about reducing your risk.
Mike had a heart attack a year ago, but he's still living in the red, with a very high risk of another attack. With his risk factors, his recommended LDL-C level should be below 55. Find out if you're living in the red. Learn how to get a free LDL-C test.
Your calling. Some people find theirs at an early age. Others, later in life. Our calling is to build trucks. And that's why trucks are what we do. We put our everything in every truck. So that when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
Right now, during the Ram Memorial Day sales event, well-qualified current FCA lessees can lease the 2024 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4 for $279 a month.
Careful, watch your step. Do you have any theories about the murder?
Oh, I leave theories to the experts, Lieutenant. I'm only a mystery writer. I'm not a detective.
Making babies the old-fashioned way generally takes only a man, woman, and a few cozy winter nights. However, for these adorable children, it may have also taken a little magic. Ancient magic, imported from the mysterious shores of Africa. They stand 5 feet tall, male and female, carved from solid ebony. They came from a small village on the Ivory Coast, north of the Gulf of Guinea. To the Ballet tribe, these figures are imbued with an incredible power, the spirit of fertility, the essence of life itself.
Yes, cannibals.
In 1994, a man named Edward Mark was in West Africa on a mining trip. He was searching for artifacts bizarre enough to add to the Ripley's Believe It or Not museums around the world.
These statues are from the Ballet tribe here on the Ivory Coast. There is a centuries-old belief that these ebony carvings will bring about fertility. The knife that the man is holding represents power, and the mango represents fertility. The mango, that's a mango. And the baby is the fruit of that fertility. So how do they work? Well, the shaman blesses the statues. And then it is believed if you place them in a doorway facing each other, when the woman walks through and touches them, she will become with child. Put this one on the other side.
Meyer had just the place for the statues. Ripley's corporate headquarters in Orlando, Florida.
Things look good here.
As a joke, he positioned them in a doorway where they could do their best work.
Shouldn't have touched her, you're going to get pregnant.
Wow, do you have to send a memo out to everybody in the office so nobody else gets pregnant?
Gotta warn everybody.
Oh, dear.
But what began as a joke quickly started looking like the real thing.
Within a few weeks, our receptionist was pregnant, and she was the person closest to him, basically had to pass them more than anybody else. And she got teased unmercifully. Lucy touched the statues, and it must work, And then along came Kimberly.
I had just recently gotten married, so my husband and I made the decision that we didn't want to start a family for about 3 or 4 years. And once I was told the history of the statues, I had made the decision myself that I wanted to try and stay as far away from them as possible.
But for Kimberly, there was no escaping the fertility statue's seductive force.
I was walking down the hall, and I tripped along the base of the female statue. Looked down, and my hand was resting on the baby. Thought at that time the damage had been done. Couldn't do anything about it then, so just went along about my business. A month and a half later, I found out I was pregnant. Should not have gotten pregnant. Definitely, I was practicing birth control at the time, so it was definitely a surprise. It was a wonderful surprise. What do you think, Dave?
Candy Prizer regularly visited Ripley's on business, but she had no idea the hallway was baby-trapped until she was almost 9 months pregnant.
Then I remembered how I used to touch these things every time I went down the hallway. Well, those things turned out to be the fertility statue. And then I pieced it all together because I really wasn't planning on getting pregnant until about 2 months after I had conceived Benjamin. And then I looked back on my calendar, and lo and behold, the day that I had been there to go to lunch with them back in April was probably during the week that I conceived.
In 13 months, 13 women who came in contact with the statues became pregnant, including 3 of the 10 women who worked in the office. When word got out, Ripley's was besieged.
The demand to see them became too great for us to handle on this island. We just weren't prepared for people phoning at all hours of the day, wanting to come and touch a statue. We decided to put them in our local museum in Orlando and let people come for free.
Mr. Spade. Nancy McCaffrey was one of those who took advantage of the opportunity. She had had a miscarriage several months earlier and was eager to try again.
God, Joe, what you
I was just plain a little nervous and didn't know exactly where to touch the statue or how to touch the statue. So we giggled our way through it, but I was really hoping that it would work.
And work it did. 2 weeks later, Nancy was pregnant.
I really think they did have something to do with it. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's just a little too ironic for me.
Ripley's asked women to let them know if the statues lived up to their billing. So far, they've gotten postcards confirming almost 130 pregnancies.
I think you find, if you talk to any one of those, you'll find that they believe these statues had something to do with their pregnancy. Maybe that's, the power of suggestion, but it's their power. They believe it.
The stream of would-be moms never seems to stop.
I'm next. I hope I'm next, that's for sure. I have all the confidence. Well, I don't know if you're going to believe this, but I really had some kind of a feeling. I don't know, it was kind of cool. Like a cool feeling. I felt good. And touching it for the first time, it just gave me goosebumps and actually brought tears to my eyes. Just the thought of maybe finally the dream coming true. When I saw the statues and I was about to touch them, it was a different feeling. It was a little eerie, a little scary, but it was more of a peaceful sense when I did touch them.
That peaceful feeling may have been a message from the gods. 5 days after we filmed Susie touching the statue, she was pregnant. It would be easy to dismiss this mini baby boom as pure coincidence. There is no scientific proof that the carvings have any power at all. But unless you want to be part of this particular playground, you might want to steer clear of fertility statues.
This is Kansas. This is Country Crop. We start with farm-grown ingredients, slow churn right here in the middle of the country. Which is fitting, because we've been at the middle of tables for generations. That is, until someone at the end needs a little more on their biscuits. No matter where your table is, pull up a chair and bring the country in. Introducing Hardee's Blueberry Biscuits. Make summer mornings sweeter with the goodness of blueberries baked into Hardee's biscuits, drizzled in icing, served warm. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
When working traffic across West Virginia, dealing with deaths and injuries is the toughest part of the job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so you know the importance of buckling up.
Mountaineers are always free, but we're not free from consequences.
Crashes can happen anyway.
When you don't buckle up, you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
If writing a ticket can prevent tragedies like the ones I've seen, I'll do it.
Why? Because it saves lives. Always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
In here, you can expect to find crystal clear audio, expansive display space, and more comfort for everyone. But we still left room for all the unexpected things you'll find out here. The new 2024 Grand Cherokee lineup. Jeep, there's only one.
During the Jeep Memorial Day sales event, current FCA lessees can get $14,500 in lease support on the 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe.
These clouds create the purest rain on Earth. It falls on a remote tropical island in search of nature's best filter. Ancient volcanic rock. It's not just wood. It's Fiji wood.
On our next Unsolved Mysteries, what happens when we sleep? What mysterious forces enable some people to leave their beds and move about as if they were wide awake? It is a world beyond dreams, a world of sleeping. Join me next time for another intriguing edition of Unsolved Mysteries.
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries.
They call it the chair of death. More than 300 years ago, a condemned killer pronounced a curse on the seat as he was led to the gallows. Legend has it that ever since, those who ignored the warnings were doomed to an untimely death. For 11 years, Aubrey Santo has been in a coma-like state, yet her bedroom has become a religious shrine. The constant stream of visitors believes that somehow in this mysterious sleep state, a dog rescues a total stranger from drowning. A pet pig saves the life of its owner. What turns animals into heroes? Is it instinct, a sixth sense, or something more? It may look like nothing more than a worn and weather-beaten scrap of olive wood. Many believe it holds extraordinary power. The power to heal. Is it possible that this is an actual remnant of the legendary Holy Grail? Can the power of love transcend death? Consider the purity and simplicity of a single red rose. This woman says it was a gift sent from beyond the grave by her father, television star Michael Landon. Join me for these fascinating stories. Perhaps someone somewhere has that one vital clue that can solve a mystery. Perhaps that someone is watching. Perhaps it's you.
Perhaps it's my cheek, my butt, my fly. Butterfly.
Every parent knows when to go into protect mode. That's why Lysol cleans and kills 99.9% of germs. Don't just clean, Lysol clean. You make your own hot sauce, but you need more space for spice. Meet Citizens Fast Line. Get a home equity line of credit offer in just 3 minutes and fund it in 2 weeks. Voila, you've got your dream greenhouse where you can test. Holy smokes! Brand and break the record for spiciest sauce. Taking home the golden pepper. Citizens Fast Line, the faster, easier way to finance your next big project.
Life would be easier if we were upfront about our mental health. But it doesn't work like that. To help our members feel more confident, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield has added over 6,000 mental health professionals, so everyone can get the right care right away. Because whatever you have on the inside deserves to be seen. Because life, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. You're pregnant.
What?
I'm embarrassed by my body.
If we were to let our guard down, William would eat himself to death. Literally.
I seriously can't keep this a secret much longer.
This is my last chance to get help.
The English village of Thirsk has all the quirky charms and quaint customs a visitor might expect. It also has one attraction you might not expect. As you wander through the clutter of the village's tiny museum, you might find yourself drawn to a remote alcove and a valuable antique chair. But it's not on display for its rarity. According to the locals, this chair is cursed with an astonishing and lethal power. It all started way back in 1669. Thomas Busby, a convicted murderer on his way to the gallows, was granted a last wish. A final pint of ale in his favorite chair at his favorite pub. When he finished, the condemned man gathered himself for the hangman, pointed to the chair and let his voice ring out. May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit in my chair. Thomas Busby's curse echoed down the centuries, proving its potency over and over again. At least that's how it's told here, the typical British Reserve.
After he was hanged, this chair remained in the pub, and people were dared to sit in it. But gradually it became noticed that they were coming to a sticky end afterwards, or very shortly afterwards.
No one knows exactly how many victims the curse has claimed since Thomas Busby met his maker. But the legend gained a great deal of notoriety during World War II. Airmen at a nearby base made the pub a hotspot, the chair a hot seat. People started noticing. Those who sat didn't come back.
Well, until I came here, I didn't believe in the curses. But now I have mixed feelings after hearing certain things about this chair.
The only way I would sit in the chair if my doctor told me I've only got 12 hours to live.
A great many people take it very seriously. I'm not a superstitious man, but I wouldn't sit in it.
Have you looked right? You must be sure. What do you think?
1967, 300 years after Busby drank his last pint, a pair of Royal Air Force pilots downed a few too many of their own.
How's that feel, sir? No, it's still hot. It's still ticking a bit. You feel all right? I tell you, how about a go for it? A go? A little spin. How about it? Go for a go? I'm not afraid. Sit right down in there. Oh, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. It's a bit tingly. It is tingly. It's good, though.
The tingle didn't last long. The pilots were about to be grounded for good. The chair was no longer known merely as Busby's chair. Now it was the chair of death. A few years later, two bricklayers working nearby took a lunch break at the pub.
You feeling lucky today?
Despite the chair's sinister reputation, they couldn't resist daring its power.
You've got to be kidding. There have been a lot of people who tell you it's true. Want to give it a try?
You think I'm scared then?
I don't know if you are or not. Curious to know.
You do it.
Not me, eh, fellas? Come on.
All right, then.
Yeah, it's all right, then. All right.
That afternoon, Busby's curse struck again.
Here we go. You guys ready?
Legend has it the chair never had an off day. Anyone who warmed its wooden bottom died swiftly. A roofer who tempted the chair fell to his death when the roof he was working on collapsed. A cleaning woman stumbled into the chair while mopping. Soon after, a brain tumor killed her. No one escaped the chair of death.
Well, with all this rain we've been having, I haven't been in much need of new supplies.
For safety's sake, the pub owner finally moved the chair into the basement, out of harm's way. Or so he thought.
You actually believe in the curse now? Well, don't sit in it. I can tell you more than one or two stories about people who've met a premature death.
If you believe in that sort of thing.
Within the hour, the delivery man's delivery days were over. It was the last straw. There was only one safe place for the chair, the local museum. The curators made sure no one would sit in Busby's chair again. They hung it on the wall, 5 feet off the ground.
People come in, they're horrified. They sort of register horror when they come in and see this chair and hear the story.
Though its killing days are presumed to be over, people continue to come forward with more tales of the chair of death.
The strangest one that was just a couple of months ago, a fella rang me, a retired man from Derby, who'd been stationed on the Air Force Base during the war, and he was a member of the RAF band, and they used to play functions in Thirsk and travel there by truck. On the way back one night, they picked up 2 airmen who were walking home from a night out in town, and one of these airmen wanted to use the toilet, so they stopped here at the Busby Stoop.
While waiting for the airman, the driver of the truck, all unknowing, sat in Busby's chair. When the airman didn't return, the driver left the pub without him. The abandoned and furious airman had to make his own way back to the base.
When he got there, he got real angry and slashed the head of this driver and killed him.